They have a 13-season playoff drought, and you think this guy? I still don't think that it's going to work the way that Jets fans are so sold on it working.
This is the Lombardi Line with former NFL executive Michael Lombardi. Now here is your host, Stormy Buonantony, on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Let's look ahead to next year in a little bit of a fun, different way. Our producer today, Brian Ortega, came up with a great idea of kind of high school superlatives. You know, those high school senior yearbook awards that you get at the end of the year before you go on to college and do all the things. We're going to do that for the NFL. So let's start with this, Michael. Who is your most likely to succeed in the 2024-25 season?
You know, I loved, when they told me to fill it in on the rundown, I kind of went over it, and I thought your pick was really good. I would have probably liked that. I think Jordan Love is going to take a giant step forward to the Packers. And here's why. I really believe the second year in the system, you take a quantum leap. Look at what Brock Purdy did this year, almost 10 yards per attempt. He's going to take another leap next year. But I think Love, if you look at Love at the beginning of the year, even the game against the Raiders where really Matt LaFleur was protecting him, he was trying to not lose the game there. I think that he's going to take a giant step forward. And if the Lions, we should have asked Russell this, but we got carried away with the draft. If the Lions don't match that, this is going to be a very competitive division because they're good on defense. They've got cap room. They're going to draft well. And if he takes that step that I believe he's capable of, I think he's going to succeed.
I think that's a great point, especially because he is not a rookie going into his second year either. He's had time to learn behind Aaron Rodgers that I think he's more likely to make a second-year jump than have that potential sophomore slump type of thing that can happen to guys sometimes. I'm with you. And you look at what he did the back half of the season, from that Week 10 win over the Chargers through their wild card win against the Cowboys. He had 21 touchdown passes and 1 interception. He was great. If he can have that type of accuracy and comfort with his receiving group, and we know how young that team is as well, I think the future is certainly bright for Jordan Love. My pick for most likely to succeed was Jim Harbaugh. I mean, we talk so much year after year about this Chargers team, and they're always predicted to be the one that goes toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes for the AFC West, and we're going to have that great Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes rivalry. No, they've had 1 playoff appearance, and it was a loss so far since Justin Herbert was drafted. And I think that Jim Harbaugh is the right guy to get this team over the hump. Bring in some physicality, give Justin Herbert the tools that he needs. I'm particularly excited just because Justin Herbert, despite having, the most passing yards through his first 4 seasons in NFL history, he's just 30-32. They're coming off a 5-12 season. He has not won. Jim Harbaugh is a winner, and I think he's more likely to succeed than fail even in year 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in on the over total of the Chargers. And you know how I felt about the Chargers last year. I'm all in. I think he brings that element of toughness, and he's going to change the narrative of the team, and I believe that this is going to be the best thing for Justin Herbert's career because he loves, he takes good care of the quarterback. He protects the quarterback, but he also allows the rest of the team to play well. So I agree. I like it. I think, to me, it's going to be interesting what the number is on their over total, win total, because I think it's going to be baked in by at least a half a game that he's going to give them that jump.
He's the favorite for Coach of the Year already. For a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you remember back in high school, there's always that couple, that perfect couple that you think they're going to last forever. Yeah. It inevitably doesn't work out. Who is the most likely to break up in the NFL this year?
Oh, this should have been this line should have been Who's Brenda and Eddie? There was a great song by Billy Joel called Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, where Brenda and Eddie were the popular steadies, and then they broke up after they bought the waterbed from Sears, which they don't even exist anymore. I think it's Carr and the Saints. I think this is headed. It's funny. Mardi Gras last night down in New Orleans, there was a parade. There was a boat, one of the floats coming through the town that had mocking Carr's inability to score in the red zone. He kind of took to it in a good-natured way. But once again, Carr's going to have to learn a new offense. He's going to have to play in a new system. He's going to have to learn. It's not going to be his fault, But I think there's so much heat on Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, the Saints team. And frankly, let's be clear. Has anybody really that improved that much in the South? I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield went down to Tampa with no fanfare at all and led them to the playoffs, where Carr got $40 million and fell short.
Yeah, it was the Saints and the Falcons that were talked about so highly going into last year, and then it ends up being Baker and the Bucs that win that division once again. I went with the Jets and Robert Saleh. And yes, I think that Aaron Rodgers...
the best coach in the league. How could they get rid of him? He's the best coach in the league. Come on, Stormy, you're getting too hard.
I do think that Aaron Rodgers will get more than 4 snaps in 2024. I do think that. But I still don't think that it's going to work the way that Jets fans are so sold on it working. Saleh's 18-33 under Joe Douglas's GM.
That's 27
good,
isn't that good?
27-60 with Joe Douglas as their GM since 2019. They have a 13-season playoff drought, and you think this guy, after we see the Athletic article about all of the dysfunction that we didn't even need the article for because we were already very well aware, and I'm freelancing here, but that Nathaniel Hackett's kind of this useless frat boy guy, and he's only there because Aaron Rodgers is the actual owner of the team. My goodness. But I just, there's no way in my brain that this story ends up working. I cannot get there.
I can't either. I'm betting the under, and I think it's only going to get worse. I don't think it's getting better. I think it's going to get worse. Because, look, nobody said it, but when they fired the scout, Rex Hogan, what happened? Wonder, how did that happen? Was he all of a sudden the guy responsible for all the bad decisions? There's one guy that got fired from the Jets this whole offseason, but based on that Athletic column, we know somebody was leaking somebody in there. Somebody was Jimmy Altieri talking to the police. I don't know. I'm not saying it was Hogan. I'm just saying it looked kind of fishy to me.
Yeah. Well, and Woody Johnson said that he's been about as mad as he's ever been outwardly, and he said he thinks his team's got the message. So if they don't deliver, which I think that they inevitably don't, then a breakup is certainly on the horizon. Okay, from who we think is going to ruin things and break up and end their everything, who are you most excited to see next year? Which player are you most excited about?
Look, I think I'm excited to see Anthony Richardson. I know Elliott's not working today, but I am excited to see him just as Elliott is, because what the Colts were able to accomplish with Gardner Minshew, who now become a free agent, Richardson gives them that six-back offense. He gives them a dynamic player at point guard. And if he can throw the ball effectively with his size and power, and if he can stay healthy, wow. I mean, why aren't the Colts going to be a good team? Now, just so we're clear, the Colts have to change what they do defensively too, much like the 49ers, because this system has run to the end. This system has kind of gone to the end. And the Colts aren't as dominant as the 49ers are in their front. So it's going to have to go. But I'm excited to see Richardson. I really am. He should get stronger. Remember, this is a young kid too. He's not a big guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've talked about it a lot, that he's somebody that because of his limited collegiate experience needs those reps, and there were certainly some flashes. We know the athletic ability. Would love to see what's next for Anthony Richardson when he's fully healthy. You know who I'm excited to see also when fully healthy? Joe Burrow. Because if seeing Patrick Mahomes win another Super Bowl didn't motivate the hell out of you, I don't know what will. And Burrow, you look at the head-to-head with Mahomes, he's 3-1. The only loss, that down-to-the-wire AFC Championship. Yes, they lose their OC in Brian Callahan, now the head coach of the Titans, but you still got Jamar Chase. The rumor on the street is that they're going to franchise tag T. Higgins, so you still got your guys. I am particularly excited to see what Joe Burrow can do fully healthy. He's been to a Super Bowl, didn't get that ring, and he wants one.
If he might have been on that field, he's the kryptonite to Mahomes.
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest. He's won in Kansas City against that team. He's won in Cincinnati. So I'm with you on that one.
Okay, rapid fire for the last minute. We said most excited for a specific player. What team are you most interested to see next year?
I'm interested to see the Chargers, without a doubt. Most interested to see the Chargers.
See, and I'm most interested to see the Packers. So that was kind of a back and forth with who we had for most likely to succeed. So we're on the same page there, especially the Packers, such a young team too. And then how about this last one? Who's the most important year?
I think it's the Buffalo Bills, because I think, to me, they're going to watch the All-22. They're going to watch that game. They watch Buffalo. They watch Baltimore game. I mean, why not them? why not them? And I think they're going to have a really hard conversation with themselves. It's going to be critical. I mean, McDermott has run out of coordinators to fire and people to blame.
They haven't quite had the failure of the Chargers in terms of wins and losses, but the expectations are always so high every year for Buffalo, whether it's Josh Allen, MVP, Super Bowl, AFC, all the things. They never seem to get there. So I agree, critical for the Bills. I said most important for the Dallas Cowboys. This final year of Mike McCarthy, last year of the contract for Dak Prescott. They can't get over the hump for that NFC Championship. This is a huge year for that organization.